Listen, rejection is God's way of redirecting you and protecting you.
When you get into astrology, you're looking for insight. Nobody who's actually knowledgeable about astrology is getting into it for hopes of winning lottery numbers, good luck, or to know something about their fate. You get into astrology because you want to know more about yourself and your possible potential and your possibilities and the propensity that you possess.
What a gullible idiot.
Why is it that you can give a man like the most clear cut instructions, give them the most simple task,
Bruh,
and they'll still find a way to f it up? They'll still find a way to be like, huh?
boo.
The next minute is gonna be the best part of my day. They're doing construction by my house, so I'm driving past the same crew every day and I wave. They're getting used to my car and they're waving back. It's like I have friends.
Either I'm ugly, which is why guys don't talk to me, or I'm like too attractive that they're intimidated, which is why they don't talk to me. And I don't think I'm ugly, so I'm gonna go with option number 2.
Oh, really?
Yo, am I the only straight girl that feels like she's in a heterosexual trap right now? How come every time I go outside, it's 58 bad bitches and half a good-looking dude?
You're such a donut.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you absolutely can stay delusional forever if you want to. I support it. If you want to just be 24/7 Delulu, I'm with you. Who are we hurting? Ourselves, but we do that anyway, so what's one more thing? It's a happier place, too.
Oh my God!
Reality has no place in my world, so...
I'm single by choice because I have a fulfilling career where I am doing really important things.
The rationalization hamster is a metaphorical creature dwelling deep in the minds of the delusional and is common among young, liberal women. It's an animal which lives in a modern woman's brain and frantically spins the hamster wheel, which helps her rationalize and justify her thoughts, behavior, and actions, regardless of how nonsensical they may be. No amount of logic or reason can stop the hamster from spinning.
Fact.
Viewed within the context of the manosphere, the rationalization hamster can be recognized in many places, particularly when it comes to the modern woman's inflated sense of self and unrealistic dating standards.
Tall or short men?
Tall. 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 Tall.
Would you ever date a short guy?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think so.
No.
No, what the hell? No.
Where do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Honestly, I kind of think I'm a 10. A 10?
A 10.
A 10. 11.
10, obviously.
How much money should a guy make per year?
Like $1 million, $2 million?
300K. 500 grand?
Mills.
Minimum 6 figures, no matter what the situation is. 120K. $500,000.
500,000.
Just to be clear, what are you?
Prime.
You're prime?
Top notch.
What makes you prime, top notch, Wu-Tang?
I mean, I have everything that you could possibly ask for as far as brains, beauty, ambition. I would build my man up to be everything he wants to be in this world. I'm the best investment he would ever make in his life.
What the
She claims to have everything you could possibly ask for, and likely believes this. However, the dialogue in her own head has no place in reality because, unlike lying, hamstering requires the subject to believe that the statement she's making to be true.
What a loser.
This requires the logical processing functions of the brain to shut down in favor of the emotional parts. Dissociation like this is a coping mechanism for many modern women, for if she can't sell herself a false narrative, she'll find it much more difficult to manipulate men into holding her in higher regard. Wow. According to this commentator, modern women have an innately powerful capacity to be entirely delusional in a self-serving manner. Unhindered by logic and aided by dissociation, modern women are masterful liars. They're so good at lying to themselves that lying to you is simply a byproduct of their own delusion.
My shit's exclusive. I've invested in my body. I have a $150,000 body. No one barely touches me. Yes, you can see me on Instagram because I'm paid to do that, but nobody touches me unless a man, yes, does take care of me. I like bosses. I like millionaires. I like someone who's going to mentor me, teach me, and invest in me, and get me to my highest level as well.
And just to be clear, what's a $150,000 body?
4 BBLs, 2 breast augmentations, obviously Botox, lip injections, and then I had the fat buckle removed out of my cheeks.
I don't give a shit.
Many men don't appreciate Botox, augmented bazookas, hot dog lips, and gelatinous hind parts. Most men don't even like makeup. Look at this clip, which shows a before and after. A majority of men would prefer the natural look because authenticity is important.
I do not take my makeup off without a melting balm, okay? And you shouldn't either.
Later.
Okay, now we moisturize it with our Touch of Dewy skin cream. This is wonderful. All clean.
And while on the topic of inauthenticity, watch out for special effects, because we're living in an increasingly fake world.
I don't hate filters. They do not change my perception of my own beauty when I take it off. Like, they don't make me hate myself. However, you will never, ever, ever catch me using a filter.
Proof that social media is fake.
We will not be bossed around by a broad who's only a 4.
You son of a... I'm at least a 7 with filters!
And it would be remiss of me to not highlight the tactical attachments.
I've been thinking of getting a BBL for the longest time, so I got it. Before, after.
Hell no!
So getting back to the original clip, the $150,000 spent on enhancements might not even be a good investment if the man she's trying to inveigle prefers natural ingredients.
True.
Strong preference, no plastic surgery, no fake tits, no fake lips, no BBL. Basically, take any woman who's had any of these procedures, I'd prefer them as they were.
And to spend so much money on dangerous cosmetic procedures suggests a level of vanity that amounts to a huge red flag. Because a vain person usually has a grandiose view of themselves. In most instances, they put a great deal of emphasis on their appearance to cover up the insecurities on the inside. They want to camouflage the interior hurt, and the best way to do this is to emphasize their presence. It's also more likely that the vain individual has a narcissistic personality disorder that's causing them to have these feelings.
How young are you?
28.
28. And what age do you want to get married?
I don't necessarily have a time restraint on myself. I feel like God's gonna, make me cross paths with my future husband when that time is right.
She's dating without realistic intention while in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
And if she hasn't already done so, is about to hit the wall. She might then find herself single and lonely when she develops the superpower of invisibility in her later years.
Invisibility?
This is what dating without a laser like Focus on Marriage can look like.
Something I didn't really anticipate in my life being single is that the more successful you get, the more single kind of hurts. I am a very independent person. I pride myself on I can do anything alone. You've seen me talk about it on here. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I am arguably the most successful I've ever been personally.
4 to 1, she dies alone.
I'm more financially secure than I've been in many years, all doing things that I built myself. But at the end of the day, I come home to my house that I bought myself.
Oh my God!
And I have nobody to talk to about any of this.
Since Effinism tells women they can have it all, many women postpone marriage and children, focus on their career, and stay on the dating carousel as long as possible.
Subvert the patriarchy.
If women want to avoid a life of loneliness, they should recognize that the wall is real and that male-to-female desirability is rarely enhanced by achievement.
And how convinced are you that a man is attracted to a girl with ambition, brains, $10 million in real estate, or just being nice and sweet? What do you think a man is most interested in, especially the man that you're looking for who's worth millions of dollars? Does he want an ambitious boss babe or a nice, compliant, beautiful girl that doesn't give him headaches? What do you think most men like that would prefer?
I'm not looking for what most men or most
Well, you
women
should
are
be, because you
looking
want
like.
that kind of guy, so you should be.
What do you mean? No, I'm looking
So
for
I'm
like
asking-
that 1 in a million where you're looking at like Grant and Elaine Cardone. You're looking at
Okay.
like, you know, power couples, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Those people are building an empire together and they're equally contributing.
So I respect on that, but let's play in reality right now. You're not going to marry Jay-Z or Grant Cardone for the sake of this conversation. You're going to marry some
No, my
successful
own.
guy.
I'm gonna have my
exactly,
own.
exactly. So that guy, how much is he worth?
Close.
Make up a number.
100 million.
You serious?
She's full of champagne wishes and caviar dreams. As of 2023, there are 25,490 centimillionaires in the world. 9,730 live in the U.S. This means she's only willing to choose from a pool of men who'll amount to a fraction of a percent of the population.
What?
The rationalization hamster has a lot to answer for because the deluded, vain, and conceited often live in a fantasy world.
Okay, so that guy that's worth $100 million, go with me here now, Kay. Does he want a boss babe who's trying to sell real estate, or a nice, lovely, compliant girl who's willing to get on his schedule? What do you think that guy wants?
Good question.
Well, I only date men that are at that high
No,
caliber.
I'm asking
So,
what you think. I don't care what you think. I want to know
I think they want me.
what he
They're
thinks.
constantly pursuing me. What do you mean?
Why aren't you married to one yet, though?
Because I don't want to be married to one yet.
I thought you just
I've
said
been
you-
building my own business.
But I thought
I've
you-
been proposed to twice and turned it down. It wasn't the
You
right
turned
one.
down a guy worth $100 million twice?
50 million, but yes.
Why in the world would you turn him down?
Because I still had things to do.
So you think that you're just going to go find another guy worth $50 million is ready to wipe you up?
No, like I said, 100 million. I like to
Okay,
double
so
down.
the $50 million guy was just too poor for you.
No, he just wasn't the right one.
You do realize there might be people in the comments calling you absolutely delusional right now.
That's
do you
fine.
realize that?
I don't care what they have to say.
That's nonsense.
In 2021, there were approximately 215,000 individuals worldwide with a net worth of at least $50 million US. If we assume all of these individuals are male, this means she's turned down a 0.0027% offer of marriage. But is it any surprise that many modern women are delusional when advice of this caliber is imparted so frequently?
So it seems that a lot of ladies are getting divorced before they turn 30. And as someone who got married at 26, has been separated for a little over a year, 32. Being in your 20s is the trenches. There is nothing better than being in your 30s, still being hot, maybe having a little bit of your own money, figuring out what you want to do with your life, everything, and having tried that married fantasy and realizing that it's maybe not all it's cracked up to be, and then you've got your whole life still ahead of you. So for all of those people who are stressed or feeling stressed about that, about being divorced, like it's good. Congratulations.
Right.
This all sounds like an attempt to quell the cognitive unease of failing at marriage and now being single. Leftover women who stubbornly strengthen their commitment to the strategy of casual dating often cope like this, because the rationalization hamster is selling her a lie. And telling other women that divorce is something to be admired might well be an indication of low moral character.
She's the village bicycle.
Another quality of the vain is that they're exceptionally focused on material possessions. They believe that their accomplishments in life are all about material gains. They want the biggest and best homes, cars, clothes, jewelry, and anything else that gets them the attention they desire.
Jay is worth $100 million. Okay, do you think about it, he cares how much money you make?
No.
You don't? Okay, let's stop there. Do you think he cares about your attitude?
To an extent, yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
He cares a lot about
Cares
your
a lot
attitude.
about your attitude.
But I have a great attitude.
Now,
No, you
okay.
Oh my God. You're not worth $100 million, so your opinion doesn't matter.
Am I living in a f***ing nightmare right now?
The person who suffers from vanity issues is often disagreeable or rude. When cornered, they'll come out swinging. They'll put you down, resort to using derogatory terms, and do anything in their power to maintain their facade of perfection. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right are their tools of choice.
Now here's my question to you. If that dude comes along, do you think he wants an agreeable woman or a non-agreeable, disagreeable woman? That dude with $100 million.
What do you want?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, you better f***ing agree.
Now, I'm not saying vanity can't be used to motivate healthy behaviors, but if you're so full of vanity and conceit that it shows, you're telling the world that you can't be trusted. Vanity causes obsession. If you're obsessed with yourself, then that's the only person you truly care about. Conceited people can't be counted on. They're untrustworthy. And the modern woman's vanity is one of the many reasons why men simply don't want to date in the first place.
Here's some crazy research for you. So a third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. Fact. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done. Tell me why you don't want to have a partner in life. Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner.
Men want women that are feminine, kind, polite, compassionate, nurturing, and cooperative. Many modern women lack these basic qualities, but are also devoid of accountability, modesty, loyalty, honesty, integrity, respect, and trustworthiness.
That escalated quickly.
Being a masculine, disagreeable boss girl, dressing provocatively, being a heavy drinker with tattoos, face piercings, and a high body count are qualities that won't allow many men to view them as marriageable or even relationship-worthy.
I've just discovered the reason why it's so hard to find a good guy dating in 2023. And it's not because there aren't any left and that all men are disgusting and all men are trash. That is completely false, no matter what you hear from other girls on TikTok. The truth is that the good guys are done with dating. They would rather be single and have their peace than be in a relationship and not be treated correctly. They're done playing the games, okay? Girls not being monogamous, them not texting them back, them giving them mixed signals, them opening up and sharing their feelings, and then a girl breaking up with them. They don't want to deal with that. They'd rather work a lot, go home, play some video games, watch a movie, and spend time with their dog or themselves than ever have to deal with women. I just want to know which one of you ladies messed it up for everyone, because dating out here is so hard.
I like this one.
It's not any one woman who's responsible. Our culture of convenience has paradoxically made dating more difficult for men, as we're forced into a hyper-competitive, superficial environment that emphasizes instant gratification over true human connection.
Sounds reasonable.
While there are several potential culprits causing this relationship breakdown, nothing has done more damage to the dating landscape than dating apps, social media, and online adult content.
The people need their bread and circuses.
The balance between men and women on Tinder is as follows: 80% men and 20% women. Now, Tinder know that if those 20% of women leave the app, that number goes to 0, they no longer have a business model. They no longer have a way to get you to pay for Tinder Gold. And as a result, Tinder puts you into a ranking system where they rank you against every other man on the app so that they can show the 0.001% of men who look like male models to that 20% of women to convince them to stick around. But where that puts you as a man is as follows. If you haven't invested hundreds of dollars into getting several really fabulous photo shoots under your belt, if you're not hitting the gym 5 to 6 days a week, if you don't have your physical appearance in order, if you don't know how to present yourself online, if you don't have a perfectly written bio, you will literally not show up in front of any woman's profile. You will begin to think that you are unworthy of a relationship, and you will get more and more depressed as a result.
Bingo.
We're in a crisis of connection. Disconnection from ourselves and disconnection from each other, and it's getting worse. Another culprit is the lack of rules around dating.
If a woman rejects a man, how should he know whether or not to keep trying?
Her body language.
I just think you should not keep trying.
Yeah, if she rejects you, you should not keep trying. Yeah. He asked for my number and I was like, no. And then later on, like, he tried it and I was like, whatever.
Oh, so he was persistent. He didn't give up.
Yeah, he wasn't that persistent, but like the third time he tried, I was like, all right, we could go on a date.
That doesn't make sense.
This is why dating can be confusing. There are no clear rules to the pursuit of a relationship. Unless, of course, you're Chad.
Please don't catcall me unless you're attractive. Unless you're a 7, 8, 9, or 10. If you're a 10, you're probably not catcalling. But don't do it. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that unless you're sexy.
Shots. We're all shocked.
So maybe the rules are simple, in that the more attractive you are, the less they apply to you.
Have you ever rejected a man specifically to test his determination to winning you over?
Of course. I love the chase. I love the chase.
No. Yes. You have?
Yeah.
Say why, so they know.
Because it's fun. It's a game.
That's up.
Have you ever rejected a man specifically to test his determination to winning you over?
Yes. 100%.
So then how does no always mean no?
It doesn't. No can mean yeah.
Well, that's confusing.
No can mean yeah, and yeah can mean no. Just depends on how you say it.
Your yes means nothing unless you can say no. If a woman seems romantically uninterested, the safe and sensible option is to assume her lack of interest is genuine. If she sets a boundary, it's best to respect it and move on.
You better not be saying what I think you're saying.
Because there are two types of man in the world. Those that are controlled by their reproductive system and those that are controlled by their brain. The latter usually lead better lives.
When men are alone and single, it's something we should all worry about. Men make fun of us, but we should be serious and careful and nice about it. We should take their feelings into consideration and all do something about it because it's an actual problem. Woo! Women, on the other hand, they can die alone with their cats.
A crazy cat lady? That's right.
In the romantic sphere, women being single and lonely is seen to be more of a choice, brought about by unrealistic standards and extreme pickiness, fueled by the rationalization hamster. Men can be single, lonely, and have zero romantic options for just being average.
Finally, someone who gets it.
And there's plenty of evidence that shows that men are more likely to engage in risky and violent behaviors when they lack a stable relationship, leading to higher crime rates, substance misuse, and social unrest.
What?
Single men may also be less invested in building strong social networks, leading to isolation and a lack of community engagement. Simply put, the breakdown of relationships between men and women is startling, and it's detrimental to a healthy society. But few women recognize male loneliness as a real problem.
So apparently there's a male loneliness epidemic right now.
It's so sad. Maybe if they just smiled more.
We don't care. The women don't care, because we've decided as a majority that we're going to live like Golden Girls. That's what we're doing. You men should get together and talk about that. Solve it. I'll give you a hint. It's therapy. Because you're the worst.
These clips are just two of many, where women on TikTok display their understanding of the male loneliness epidemic.
For men, shame is not a bunch of competing, conflicting expectations. Shame is one. Do not be perceived as what? Weak. I did not interview men for the first 4 years of my study. And it wasn't until a man looked at me one day after a book signing and said, "I love what you have to say about shame. I'm curious why you didn't mention men." And I said, "I don't study men." And he said, "That's convenient." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you say to reach out, tell our story, be vulnerable. But you see those books you just signed for my wife and my 3 daughters?" I said, "Yeah. They'd rather me die on top of my white horse than watch me fall down." When we reach out and be vulnerable, we get the shit beat out of us.
True.
And don't tell me it's from the guys and the coaches and the dads. Because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else.
Goddamn right.
Men showing vulnerability is often perceived as weakness. This is problematic, as not seeking help when needed or admitting areas for improvement inevitably leads to mistakes and less development.
What?
Traditionally, for men to be masculine, we're expected to display attributes such as strength, power, and competitiveness, and less openly display emotion, and certainly never weakness. There's a high burden of performance placed on men, but this burden is carried in silence.
He ain't lying.
In addition, many women assume a husband should be at her beck and call. This is typically a man who she feels she can control. He's like a plow horse or hired help and should carry out all of her demands, and further, should possess mind-reading abilities and know exactly what she's thinking and what she wants.
Yes, exactly.
Yet sometimes, whatever he does, it's never enough. His first and sometimes only obligation in life is to her, and like a child, needs to ask for permission to do anything. Unfortunately, many men work long and hard to financially support a woman who, ultimately, does not love nor respect him and is not even sexually attracted to him. The life of the beta male provider sounds like a lonely one.
Most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Cause yes, boy, you're gonna be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step 2 in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful. You are only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space, and you are swiftly replaced. Step 3 in being a man is overcoming your fear of the fire. Because almost everything you will ever try to build will go up in flames. Relationships, careers, hobbies, and yes, you are always to blame. Step 4 in being a man is understanding that by the time you finally get all the right answers, these questions will have already changed. You might achieve the strength of Herculean fiction, trying to balance the weight of all these contradictions. Be a man, they say. Definition unknown. Description keep changing. We men, so empty, so irritable, so this, so that. We get told where we are so much we've accepted that who we are ain't even up to us. The blame is always on us regardless. One guilty man's actions requires an innocent man's explanation. Otherwise, you're all guilty by gender association.
The section where he says, most of us have never even felt appreciation, reminds me of how rare it is for some men to receive any type of positive engagement. They hold on to compliments and kindness in a way that's similar to this clip here. But the poem as a whole puts me in mind of the book Taking Responsibility by Nathaniel Branden, who stated the importance that men understand that no one's coming to save you. Essentially, he's saying we're on our own, which is not something to weep over, but rather just a simple truth. If you're blessed, you might have a family that cares about you. If you're particularly lucky, maybe friends too. Other than that, as a man, you'll likely have nothing. It's perform or fail. That's all anyone cares about. You need to remember to take care of yourself because no one else will, and more importantly, no one, besides your closest friends and family, wants to. No one's coming to save you because they're too busy saving themselves. This might sound bleak, but it allows you to navigate the world more intelligently. It's important to recognize this because it better stops you from feeling lonely and falling into a state of victimhood. It's easy to adopt a victim mindset because the benefits of doing so lead to a lack of accountability. Being accountable for your life means you're in the driver's seat, which can be scary to someone who has a victim mentality. You'd have to admit life isn't just the result of the actions of others. Taking responsibility bursts the protective bubble of victimhood. Some people's problems continue because of the secondary benefits of adopting a victim mindset, such as sympathy, attention, and validation from constantly playing the poor me card. And projecting blame on others is a key part of the victim mentality. To overcome this, you must stop viewing yourself as a victim, because a victim mentality is learned behavior. You must take responsibility, since you're the only one who controls your actions. You might not be able to control others, but you can control how you react to them. Read books about the victim mentality and how it affects your life. The more you educate yourself on the topic, the more likely you are to stay on track with your recovery and avoid going back to a negative way of thinking.
The credit goes to the man in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and blood and sweat. But when he's in the arena at best, He wins, and at worst he loses, but when he fails, when he loses, he does so daring greatly.